everybody. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you this rainbow skeleton piece nail art design that has a black background and then this rainbow ombre skeleton chunk going across the nails. I am so in love with these. I loved them when they were just black and white, and then I also loved them even more once they turned into rainbow, and the whole secret with this design is how they become that rainbow pattern. It was actually super easy, and I love the effect. It'd be something that would be versatile. You could do it with all different kinds of patterns. It wouldn't have to be Halloween and spooky, but I do really like it. I hope you guys like it as much as I do, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well.
So I'm going to begin by painting a background of just black. You want it to be nice and smooth. I do have a layer of gel base coat on over the top of my acrylic overlay. I've been doing that lately, and I do feel like it does make a big difference in applying my gel polish on top of an acrylic overlay. After I have 2 coats of black, I'm going to take white gel paint and I'm going to start painting each of these skeleton chunk pieces. I'm going to start on my thumb with the skull, which is the one that I was the most excited to paint, so I had to start there. When I am painting this white, at first, I'm using the skinniest little lines to sketch out the shapes that I want. And then after that, I'll go through with some more intense, thicker, bolder lines. I'm going to begin with the nose. I feel like that's a great place to start. Put it right down in the center, and then you can build off from there. As you are painting this design, and this goes for the skull as well as the rest of these pieces, try to be cognizant of how much black and white you have on the nail. So the areas that are white are going to be the areas that show up with the rainbow. The areas that are black are pretty much going to stay black. And the more white you have, the more solid white you have, the less it's going to end up looking like bone pieces. So you want to keep that balance of black and white, outlines, shadows, bright areas as much as possible. And within the white, I am trying to not make it be gray. I'm trying to keep it just black and just white. So instead of shading with blending out the color, as you can see on the top corner of the skull there, I am shading by creating small lines. That is the way that I'm going to try to keep this design looking as, intense at the end once I do make it the rainbow, because you don't want it to end up looking just like a muddy mess that you can't tell what's going on. You want these to be striking and just clear at the end. So I've got the skull basically painted. I've got cheekbones. I'm going to add the teeth. If you wanted to do a lower mandible and finish off the rest of the skull, you certainly could. My nails aren't super long, so I'm going to keep it just the top upper portion, upper set of teeth, and then I'm going to leave it at that. Once I'm done with my skull, now I'm going to be showing you the ring or the index finger, which is going to be the pelvis and a little bit of the spinal column going up in the corner. This is the nail that I feel like is the least obvious as to what it is, just at a quick glance. However, I have recently started going to a chiropractor, and my chiropractor thought this nail was the coolest because you could see some more of that spine. So, it's up to you, whatever you think. But I'm going to be doing this. This is also the one that I feel like you want the most shading in, the most gradation of light and dark to really show that shadow and that dip in. And it's one of those things where, it's kind of a balance. You have to figure it out. I was looking at skeletons and I wanted to try to, piece together a good portion of a skeleton, and I didn't want to do any repeats. So that's why I went with the pelvis. But like I said, I feel like it's the least obvious what it is. Now for the ring finger, which is going to be the rib cage, which is my second favorite nail, I am going to start by just doing the sternum going down, just like with the nose or the nasal cavity on the skull. I'm going to start there. It's the center, and then you can build off of it. Same thing, I'm going to put a focus on trying to get that light and dark balance. If at any point during this design you feel like, oh no, I have too much white and you don't want to wipe it off, you could always cure it as is and then go back with more black and bring some of that white down. So you could, if a line goes crooked or even after it's cured, you look and you're like, oh, you know what, this just seems like there's too much white here, or this line isn't straight. You can always alternate going back and forth between your black and your white and fixing those areas if there does happen to be any problems that you see. The one other thing that I do want to mention with this, trying to keep your light and your dark and keeping it all balanced, especially on a spot like the rib cage where you have the sternum, you want it to be a little bit more forward looking. You don't want those ribs to be solid white bar lines. You do want to try to do some shading with the little lines to keep them looking more three-dimensional and more real. On the ring finger, I'm going to be painting a chunk of leg. So we've got the femur and then the patella, which is that kneecap bone, little circle. And then going down, you have your tibia and your fibula. So this one This is one where, as you can see, I really painted a pretty solid white bar for that bigger bone, the femur, and then I'm going to do the lighter parts along the areas down below. This is, again, to add some intensity. So you gotta not necessarily be afraid to add big white space, but not do everything as a big white space. On the ring finger, or the pinky finger, I'm getting all my finger names wrong. On my pinky finger, I'm going to be painting a series of phalanges, little finger bones. I'm going to do all just kind of sprawled out across the nail. I thought this one was hilarious. I have a hand on my hand. Don't overthink these ones. You can't see the whole thing. You're not going to be adding in any of those teeny tiny little hand and wrist bones that are up higher. Just really focus on the fingers. And this one, you can make them a little bit more solid white if you want, just because there isn't any overlapping space where you have to try to create the front and the back. It's all just one level. I'm now going to apply a layer of gel top coat or gel sealer, either way, and just seal this design. And at this point, if you do want to keep it black and white, this is it. This is done. They look absolutely fabulous. And I stared at them trying to decide if I wanted to make them rainbow because I loved them so much. Look how striking they are, how intense they are. I feel like they are more Halloweenish, just black and white. Once I added the color on top, they felt more whimsical, less spooky. And now here's the crazy secret. I'm just going to take some alcohol ink. This is nail art alcohol ink, and I'm going to apply them in a rainbow going across yellow to green, green to kind of a forest green to blue, blue to purple, and just tap them on. After I have the color quickly applied, just in a, as you can see, from bottle to nail, you can go through and you can blend them if you want. You could take either a clear ink. Madam Glam offers a clear ink, and you can use that to blend it out, or you can use some isopropyl alcohol on a nail art brush, like an application brush or a gel brush, to get the color to be moved a little bit. If it's either too much in any areas or you need it blended better, you can manipulate it that way. However, I pretty much liked how they were just in my quick application. I thought they looked perfect, so I'm going to keep it as is and then float another coat of gel top coat on top of it. And when I say float, I mean don't drag your brush across the nail. Don't apply a really thin layer where you have to really press it in because you might just smear your alcohol ink. But as long as you just kind of gently apply it over the top, you're good to go. And did you see how crazy quick that was? It was so easy, so quick, and the colors look fabulous. You can see the black, you can see the white areas. It doesn't get rid of any of those details. It just makes them colorful. Right on top, so fast. I hope you guys love this as much as I do. Like I said, this one was hard to decide if I like it black and white or colorful better. Let me know in the description box below which way you prefer it. It's a hard choice, and I will see you all next time. Bye!